Ever pondered on how to become a stronger cyclist next season? Well, consider incorporating some high-intensity intervals into your off-season break. This strategy is backed by a fascinating study conducted in 2014 by Ronestad and colleagues. The researchers investigated the impact of two contrasting training regimes during the off-season on performance in the subsequent pre-season. Here's how it unfolded. One group of riders adhered to low-intensity training only during the 8-week off-season period. Conversely, a second group combined low-intensity training with regular high-intensity intervals during the same period. The high-intensity workout was executed every 7 to 10 days, and it consisted of 5 6-minute or 6 5-minute high-intensity work intervals. After the 8-week off-season, both groups embarked on 16 weeks of regular pre-season training, where they had the freedom to perform their preferred training. The groups underwent testing before the off-season, after the off-season, and post-pre-season. 13 well-trained cyclists, aged between 30 and 32 years, with a VO2 max of 68, 69 ml/kg/min, took part in the experiment. What were the findings, you may ask? Before the off-season, there were no discernible differences between the cyclist groups in terms of VO2 max, Umax, power at 4 mmol lactate, fractional utilization of VO2 max, power during a 40-minute all-out time trial, or body mass. However, the first significant differences materialized after 8 weeks of off-season. The group that combined high-intensity and low-intensity training displayed improvements in two parameters compared to the low-intensity group. Power at 4 mmol lactate increased by 5.4%, while power during 40-minute all-out time trial increased by 5.1%. Interestingly, 16 weeks into preseason training, the high-intensity and low-intensity group maintained their physiological head start from week 8. Despite similar preseason training, the low-intensity group couldn't catch up on the ground lost during the off-season. By week 24, following 16 weeks of preseason training, the high-intensity and low-intensity group was still ahead in several fitness parameters. Power at 4 mmol lactate increased by 9.4%, fractional utilization of VO2 max at 4 mmol increased by 7.1%, and power during 40-minute all-out increased by 7.7%. While the study we just discussed brings some compelling insights, it's worth noting that it's not the only research pointing towards the benefits of maintaining intensity work during the off-season. Mujica and colleagues back in 1995 analyzed performance variations among 18 elite swimmers. They compared athletes who enhanced their personal records with those who didn't. Unsurprisingly, the athletes who improved showed a lesser degree of fitness loss during the off-season, while those who didn't improve experienced more significant detraining. Fast forward a few years, and we have another study by Taylor and Almquist et al. They decided to introduce 30-second all-out sprints into low-intensity rides during a 3-week off-season period. The results? Just like Ronestad et al., they found that cyclists who incorporated these sprints into their off-season training regimen showed a stronger performance 6 weeks into preseason training compared to those who stuck with traditional low-intensity rides only. This further reinforces the idea that integrating high-intensity training during the off-season can indeed provide a significant advantage for cyclists as they enter the preseason. The use of intensity during the off-season seems to be a consistent factor in boosting performance well into preseason training. As we draw closer to the end of this video, let's take a moment to summarize the crucial points we've discussed so far. If you're a cyclist looking to improve your performance in the upcoming season, here are some key takeaways to keep in mind. 1. Incorporating just one high-intensity interval every 7 to 10 days appears to maintain capacity and performance during the off-season. This doesn't mean overexerting yourself every day, but rather maintaining a balance between rest and high-intensity training. 1. Multiple studies suggest that intensity work is vital in preventing detraining during periods with reduced training load. Keeping up with intense training sessions, even in smaller doses, can help you maintain your fitness levels. 1. Riders who manage to prevent detraining during the off-season are likely able to start developing their endurance capacity immediately in the preseason, rather than spending weeks or even months trying to get back to their previous levels of performance. 1. And finally, there is compelling evidence that preventing detraining during the off-season is crucial in setting yourself up for the best possible performance in the next cycling season. As with any training regimen, it's vital to listen to your body and avoid overtraining. But by incorporating these findings into your training routine, you could be setting yourself up for a stronger, more effective cycling season next year. Well, that's it for another deep dive into training research. Don't forget to hit the like button and share with others. Until next time.